Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Wake Up podcast with me, Aisha.
I'm me, Lucy.
Today, we have a very fun episode planned. We have decided to talk about one of our favourite things that we both love, which is films and our favourite films of the decade. Our favourite films of the decade, because obviously we're in 2020, 10 years of this film. So,
we want to start this year out good, but obviously it ain't started out that well. So we're like, why don't we look back on some good things in the past 10 years instead of focusing on 2020? Because she kind of messed up a bit, you know?
A little bit.
But before we start, how are you?
I'm all right. Same old, not too bad.
What have you been doing? Anything?
Literally, this week I've been so lazy. I've literally not done anything. Usually I have driving lessons and stuff, but she cancelled on me this week because...
How dare she?
I know, I'm actually fuming. People had tests, but yeah, I need to get back on my driving because being in lockdown and not being able to go anywhere without my mum is a bit, you know.
No idea.
No.
I'm happy I have my car. I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
So happy.
How have you been?
I mean, it doesn't really go that far out or anything, but
yeah,
I'm all right. I've been working a lot, you know, you're representative. I won't say what the company I'm working for just because, you know, I don't want to get told off for like, you know,
copyright.
I don't know, copyright or whatever. But I'm working at a supermarket, so that's been interesting in lockdown. It's crazy. I'm like, I tell people what to do because I'm a team leader, so that's interesting.
Mad.
I had an interesting experience at the gym yesterday as well.
Oh yeah, what happened?
Just there's a person that I bumped into that I went to school with. Apparently, I recognised him after a while, but like they're completely different, and I was so shocked.
Bro.
I can't remember. I don't, like, I know who his name is, but I can't remember his last name or anything. But I swear to God, like he's grown so much, and like, yeah, he looks completely different. I was shocked. It was a very interesting experience.
Yeah,
and I was just trying to get in and out, but it was really nice. So bless him.
That's not. It must be weird as well, especially for you because you moved away to go to uni to see people like back home and stuff.
Yeah, it's really strange. Like there's someone else at the gym that I go to that like I went to school with him, but like he's a couple of years older, so I don't know if he'd recognise me, and we've not said anything to each other. But just weird, like starting to see people like you know, and going to shops and seeing people you know, and you're like, oh, this is strange. So strange.
Literally.
So weird. Anyway,
interaction.
I'm good.
That's good. Both good. I'm glad. So let's jump straight into it, I guess. So we
haven't really got much of a structure, have we, for this?
No, it's a bit of a mess as per usual, but you know, it is. But
we've tried to get 10 films each, but we've again failed at that. I've got too many, and you've got not enough.
Little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is though? My memory's terrible. Like I can't remember half the films that I've watched.
Yeah. I messaged my friend Kira who reviews films, and I was like, send me your list, because we usually go to the cinema together. So a lot of her list will be things I've seen with her. And then also I Googled the best films of the last decade. Like I needed to refresh myself. I couldn't remember anything.
Honestly, no, I did the same. I've definitely got some as well. For me, it's not necessarily films that were released in the past decade, but it's ones that I watched in the past decade and like.
Hang on a minute, that's cheating.
Listen.
No, that's cheating. I've done films from the last decade. You're cheating. Why are you lying?
I was struggling, man. I was really struggling because there's so many films I haven't watched. Like researching the video.
Same.
Yeah, it's
one
bad.
film that I know would be on this list because I know how amazing it's meant to be is Moonlight, but I haven't seen it, so it kept coming up again and again. So that's a film that I always go, yeah, I'm going to watch it when it comes out on Netflix, or when it's going to be on this, I'll watch it. And I swear it's on Amazon or something. I think it might be on something right now, or it was, and I've missed it, so I need to watch it. So
It's so
bubbly.
good. I did watch it. I watched it illegally like a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago. Ash! Listen, we broke out here. I'm literally, you know what I mean, unemployed. But nah, it's so good. I highly recommend it. It's actually on my list as well. So yeah,
okay,
recommend. But how do you
cool.
want to do this?
Let's. I think we should take it in turns
Mm.
to speak about the film that we think is like in the top 10, and then if you don't agree, you can argue against why you don't think it should be in the list.
Okay, a debate.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, my first film, and it's at the top of the list. I don't know if you know which one this is going to be. Can you take a guess?
Um,
One of my favorite artists. Oh my god! Look, the brain cells that they ain't
the
there.
one brain cell is just stressing. When I think of your favorite artist, I think of Post Malone, and I'm like, was he in a film?
I actually he was in a film, but not him.
Okay,
A Star Is Born that had Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga in.
of course.
It's a remake because there's like three of A Star Is Born now. They remade it a couple of times. Barbara Streisand was in one of them, I think. Anyway, so that is on my top tier of like the best film of the decade because like I think of that film, I get emotional. That's how attached I am to that film. Like it's such an incredible story. If you don't know what the story is, it's basically about two artists. One artist who's already really famous, and one artist who's working, like working. I think she works in a hotel or a restaurant, and she's not getting recognised. And they meet, and basically, they start a relationship together. She starts to get famous. They sing together. It's like a love story, entwined with like the industry and how it affects them, and oh god, there's like alcoholism in it and all sorts, and it's just a really powerful film. And trigger warning for the end is how to say it without revealing it. There are mentions of suicide in it, but oh my god, what a powerful film it is. Amazing. And it was Bradley Cooper's first film he ever directed, so I was just yeah, and he learned to sing and play the guitar for it as well. So, like, talk about like going the extra mile. Like, they ain't doing like High School Musical 1. Troy Bolton like ain't singing his own songs. You know what I mean?
Literally, that's mad.
But
Because didn't that film win like a bunch of awards as well?
oh yeah, their
Yeah.
chemistry is so good. Like to the point where people like in the media are like trying to stir like that Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper were together and stuff. But they're like, no, we just really like love each other as friends and we really appreciate each other as artists. But their chemistry just was so good in the film. Amazing. I think they performed at the Oscars. They performed their song. So good. Words cannot describe how good that film is, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
That's my opinion. Man, I still need to watch it. It just looks so good though.
You need to watch it. I've got the vinyl and everything. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I need to
Because
get the CD.
is it like a musical? It's got loads of different songs in it.
It's not a musical, but because the song's about artists, it has got songs in it. I don't think class it as a musical, because yeah. So they wrote. I'm pretty sure they wrote all the songs, and they performed them live. So what you hear in the film is live, I think.
Okay.
And then they're recorded for the album as well. Oh my god, hiccups and burps. What's going on? But yeah, so there's so much music in it. It's so good, such beautiful stuff. Really hard hitting songs, beautiful. Oh, I just love it. I just love it so much.
Okay.
Like I'm not really putting my films in order, but if it was going to be in order, that would be on number one. I just know it.
Same. I haven't really put mine in order as well, but one of my favorite films of all time, and I don't know if this is cheap.
Actually in this decade.
Huh?
It's in this
I'm not sure. I think it was 2008, but I didn't watch it until I was like 11 or 12. So that was in this decade. So I'm trying to loopholes. You know what? It's fine. Anyways, so my first film is a musical. It's called Dreamgirls, and it stars
oh right. I've never watched it.
Beyonce. I love it. It's so amazing. It stars Beyonce, Jennifer Hudson, and I forgot who the third girl is. But yeah, basically, I know.
Your favourite film and you can't remember?
I'm a fake fan. What can I say? Okay, but yeah, if you don't know what it's about, it's basically about those three girls, and they're Motown singers, and their dream is to make it big. And then they get scouted by this guy who's played by Jamie Foxx, and it's about, yeah, Jamie Foxx is amazing. And it's about basically their journey into the music industry and the ups and downs, and like what it's like behind closed doors, the relationships they have. It's all about like, I think it's set in the 60s, and it's about how Black artists were doing at the time, all the struggles they had to face, also feminism, all the struggles that women had to face in the music industry, the things they had to do to get their music heard. And yeah, it's just so interesting. And the soundtrack, oh my God. Listen, when I was 12, yeah, I used to walk around my house like singing, listen, you know, Beyonce, Jennifer Hudson, they ate those songs up like dead ass, like, it was just so inspiring. I've never been in a relationship or like had a singing career, but it made me feel like, do you know what I mean? You know, when you listen to like Rihanna, you feel like you're a singer and you've been through heartbreak. You hadn't, because I was 12, obviously, but I felt that story.
It's
It's just
interesting
amazing.
as
Yeah.
well how we've both picked a film that highlights music as well,
Yeah.
which is really nice, I think, because obviously music's a big part of what we enjoy and what we love. So I think that's quite interesting. That, and again, like they're kind of similar. They're different because one's obviously about, you know, a female group who are Black, and then one's about these two different characters who find each other. But again, they both highlight how relationships work in the industry, how the industry works, how it can affect you, things that you get lost in, and stuff like that. I think that's really interesting as a concept, because I think, you know, everyone wants to be famous.
Yeah.
But when everyone gets there, it's like, is it actually as glamorous as it seemed? Or, you know, there's a lot of issues. I think people think, you know, once they're a celebrity, like things don't affect you. So it's nice to look at them themes of like, you know, where these characters get lost and the struggles they face in celebrityism. I don't know what the word would be, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like particularly interesting to us as creative people because we can relate to those characters in a way. Like, obviously, we have an art that we're passionate about and we want to get it out there and heard, but we don't know the costs that come with it. And obviously, celebrity culture, all of that. Yeah. So I think that's why it's interesting to us.
Yeah. And I think as well as artists, like in the film where you know, in films where you see the struggles of like artists trying to produce things, trying to get their things out there, learning that, you know, they might have to do things they don't want to do, or, you know, work for free, or, you know what I mean? It's those, like, even if they're little things, like we can still kind of relate to them as creatives ourselves. So that's something I like to see. I think it just reminds everyone that everyone's human as well at the end of the day, which is nice. I like that. That we all have struggles, which even if mine's really small and the one in the film's really big, like there's still struggles at the end of the day. So yeah, it's nice. I like that concept. My next film, I'm just going to read through my list in order. So I ain't going to be like, like I could make like a better order of like saying these, but I'm just going to go with how I wrote them out. So my next one is Spotlight. I don't know if you've ever watched it. It's on Netflix, I'm pretty sure, right now.
Okay.
It's a very intense film.
Yeah.
Very intense. So it's based on a true story, which I love. Not that I love the story. The story is really horrible, but I mean, I love stories that are based on true true events. Because I find it so interesting. But basically, it's about the Catholic Church, and these journalists start to uncover that these kids in the Catholic Church are being sexually abused. Oh my God, the film is so good. And it's got, is it Mark Ruffalo?
Yes.
The one who plays Hulk, he's in it as well. And but no, I can't. It was years ago that I've watched it, but like, even though I can't remember everything in it, like it's still highlighted in my mind that was such a good film. It was just like, I knew, obviously everyone kind of knows about the things that, like, there's jokes about the Catholic Church and whatever.
Yeah.
But like to actually follow the story of how it uncovered, it was so interesting. And if that's something that you're interested in, finding out more about, that film's so good. Yeah, it's just interesting because it was these journalists that uncovered it. And I watched a documentary recently called Athlete A, which is about like the American gymnastics younger kids team or whatever, however you want to call it, for the Olympics.
Mm.
How they got sexually abused by the medic, and again it was uncovered by journalists. So it's
Wow.
really interesting, like, because sometimes I think people think of journalists as just like, oh, the Sun
Yeah.
writing about Katy Perry or da da da,
Daily
what's
Mail.
she doing. So I think that's what a lot of people think, but it was really interesting to see that other side of journalism. Like, I know obviously there's like the news and they're journalists as well, but I think a lot of the time when people think of journalists, they think of like really cheesy or like
Hmm.
gossip stuff. So
Exactly.
it's really, really interesting to follow a story where they themselves are like, oh my God, what have we just uncovered? Like, this
Mm.
is massive. Like, I think if I remember correctly, at the beginning it seemed like it wasn't like a big massive problem, but the more and more they looked, like the more they realized, like, damn, this is a massive issue, like this is going on everywhere.
Mm.
So again, I'm saying I haven't watched this film in ages, and I might actually go and watch it because I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. But like, talk about like interesting.
Yeah.
So
So is
I
it a
can't remember.
documentary?
No, it is a film just based on true events.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, I don't know how, there may be some differences for they want to dramatize it or whatever, but
Mm.
it follows the story of these journalists who uncovered the scandal in the Catholic Church.
Mm.
Very interesting, very interesting. Would 100% recommend.
Yeah. Because I remember when all that stuff came out in the news as well. That's so mad. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
good.
definitely
It's
gonna
a
give
good
that a
film.
watch. Okay, what have I got next on my list? Okay, the next film is called Blood Diamonds. And again, like that film, it's based on true events. Um, I believe it's based in Libya, and it's basically about diamond mining and illegal diamonds and smuggling diamonds to
Oh.
America. Yeah, and that whole industry, that whole business.
Who's
And
in that? Is there
the,
anyone I'd recognise? I can't think of the film.
Leonardo DiCaprio is in it.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's the lead role.
Right, you keep talking. I'm going to Google this.
Okay, yeah. But it's a really amazing film. It's basically it follows a guy and his son, and his village is attacked by rebels in the country that obviously are against the government. And those rebels kidnap children and men to work for them, mining diamonds, and then they illegally sell the diamonds to people in the West, like the US and the UK, for like to make wedding rings and for jewelry shops, so they get it for a cheaper price. And obviously the people that work to get those diamonds, they don't get paid correctly. So yeah, it's just
Mm.
a whole journey about how his life changed when all this unrest was happening in his country, and it's all over diamonds. And Leonardo DiCaprio actually helps the main character, and he's a
Yeah.
bad guy as well. He's a rebel, but he wants to help him get out of the situation because obviously he's lost his family and stuff. So they go on this like journey to find this massive diamond that's buried somewhere, to sell it for money and split the money. But yeah, the things they go through, they almost get caught. They have to make deals with like rebels and terrorists, and they almost get caught by the government. And it's all based on true stuff. Like this illegal diamond mining happens in Africa a lot, as well as like other things like oil mining, gold mining. There's a whole industry behind it, and there's dark sides to it. So it was really interesting to watch. And I watched it quite young as well, so 12 or 13. So I think when you watch something powerful, like even with Spotlight, if you watched it a while ago,
Mm.
I think when you're younger, when you find out
Mm.
about that stuff, it hits you harder because you're like,
Yeah.
shit, this is happening in the world. And obviously it's a
Mm.
bit dramatized, but yeah, it was really
Yeah,
amazing. Very gritty, very powerful, very graphic,
yeah.
but yeah, so
You know
good.
what? I've never heard of that film, but I just Googled it and I don't recognise it either. So I'm going to have to watch it because Come on, Leonardo DiCaprio is always in good films. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest.
Mm.
And because obviously, not that he's political, but he is political as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying all the films he's in are political, but like I feel like a lot of the times, sometimes he's in films that mean something, or like he wants to push a message or something. Sometimes that's how I feel. Someone's gonna be like, that's rubbish, but that's how I feel.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah.
Okay, my next film. I can't really remember the 100% of the main story, but
Okay.
again, it was 2016. So what's that? 4 years ago. That doesn't seem that long, but once you've been to uni, I don't remember anything. Um,
I'm sorry to that man.
so basically, the next film I want to pick is The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys stars Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, and oh my god, what a film! I can't remember when it's set. I think it's like the 70s. I think it's set. I could get that, could be completely wrong. I think it's meant to be set in the 70s because like the aesthetic and the clothing. And
Mm.
oh my god, it's just such a good film. It's so funny. It's like these two like detectives who are completely like different have to like band together um to basically there's this guy. So I'm reading like what Google says because I can't remember the exact thing. So basically there's like a girl in hiding,
Yeah.
um and there's like hitmen and they've got to find her, all this stuff, and they're trying to find this person, and it's just crazy. It's such a good film. And oh my god, Russell Crowe, I think he tweeted something because my friend Kira sent me something, and it was like almost like a hint to like maybe there being another one, and we were like, oh my god,
Please,
please,
God.
please God, it's such a good film. Yeah, it's set in 1970s Los Angeles, and it says a mismatched pair of protective private eyes. Private eyes investigate a missing girl and the mystery death of a porn star. Such a good
Yeah.
film.
That sounds
It's so
really
funny.
interesting.
It's just so funny. If you want to,
Yeah.
like, not only is it funny, you have to think about what's happening as well. Like, you're trying to work
Okay.
out with them what's going on because you don't know. It's not straight up obvious. Um, so that's such a good film, and I love Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. They work so well together in the film.
Yeah.
And the daughter, Ryan Gosling's daughter in it, she's really funny as well. I'm sure it's the daughter. She's really funny. So
Okay.
it's a bit more of a, compared to my last two films, it's a bit more of a funnier kind of film. Yeah, there's not much I can say other than that, but definitely worth a watch. I'm not sure if it's on Amazon at the minute. I don't think it's definitely not on Netflix. I don't think, but definitely worth a watch.
Yeah. I love a good like detective
Oh,
to
so
private
funny.
investigator film, especially if it's funny as well, because detective films they make you think because obviously you're working
Yeah,
out
yeah, yeah,
what the mystery is, but when
yeah.
it's funny as well, that's just a cherry
They
on
like
top.
hate each other at the beginning, so
Do
it's so
they?
it's so funny. There's I don't think this is much of a spoiler because I think when it came out, one of the teasers was them fighting. There's a scene where they fight. It's so funny.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it. They're
We
so funny.
we love an enemies to friends trope.
Yes, let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay, the next film on my list, and this is definitely like one of my top five films, and it was released this decade for sure, was Dear White People. Yeah, I think it's still on Netflix, and it's just a really good film based in America. And I can't remember what the university is called, but it's about
Is
a
that a film?
yeah, it's a series. They turned it into a series, but it started off as a film first.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay. Right. Got you.
it's got a lot of the same cast as well. I think the lead actress has changed, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing film, and it's about the different accommodations in an American uni. And there's one where it's like purely black students. Like if you apply to that uni and you're black, you're probably getting put in that accommodation. Like it's only if
Oh,
you're
okay.
very rich you get sorted into like different accommodations. But it's all about class and like race and microaggressions and people's opinions. And I think it's very much for a modern day audience. So
Mm.
Well, actually, when I look back at it now, if I watched it in 2020, some things are a bit stereotypical. Like even the way they portray Black people, like loving chicken, talking about hair all the time and stuff. But I think it's important for a white audience because
Mm.
dear white people for a start. So it's important for a white audience to understand those elements of Black culture, which they wouldn't know a lot about as well. So the things that
Mm.
Black people would find annoying and what's okay and what's not okay and lines that you can cross and not cross. And also the
Yeah.
tensions that happen in a place like university, especially when you
Mm.
have such a segregated like kind of area with the accommodation and stuff. So yeah, it's about the main character, Sam. She's very vocal and she has a radio show and it's called Dear White People. And a lot of white people are like, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? We're not that bad. And it's kind of like educating them on things that they wouldn't know about, on things that they're not doing, and the tensions that come through that. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. And her relationships as well. Like as a Black person, you it's kind of like telling you to practice what you preach a bit. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're educating people on how to be better, how not to discriminate, but you also have to like practice that within yourself as well and educate yourself. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting watch. And the series that Netflix are doing after, that's even better because it's more updated, it's more modern. So yeah, I definitely recommend that for sure. Yeah.
Cool. In terms of talking about like Black excellence and Black awareness, I have like Black awareness. Like, what's the right phrase? Like, I don't know what is the right phrase. Like
I would,
highlighting
I would say Black excellence, like highlighting Black culture and
Black culture and stuff like that.
yeah.
I have like I think I had a couple. I had like a couple in terms of like whether that be director or the actual film.
Hmm.
So I had a couple because mine go over 10, so I'll kind of band them together. So the first one was Black Panther.
Yes.
Now, I feel like everyone kind of got a bit obsessed with black, being black and going like Wakanda forever.
Mm.
Okay, let's chill now.
Relax, relax.
But I think in terms of the way that film was done,
Mm.
the absolute excellence of the cast and who they directed, and it's actually nice to see a film that is highlighting all these black artists, whether that not just the actors but the costumes they did. They actually looked at African tribes, didn't they, in Africa, and took different looks and like modernized it, because that's the kind of Wakanda, isn't it? Like it is African, but it's almost like futurized.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think Wakanda isn't it based off of something that is meant to be about like Africa futurized or something like that?
Yeah, there is a subgenre
More
genre. It's like Afrofuturism or
Yeah,
something.
Afrofuturism, that's it.
Yeah.
So I just thought, like, it's a good film anyway. It's just a good film. But in terms of like just the details that were put into it, and it
Mm.
was so nice reading afterwards about all these different looks and what it meant. And I don't know, that's one part that I wanted to do, was just highlight that, because I just thought the costumes themselves were just amazing. And yeah, that was just great for me. And then another one in terms of like black excellence, the Blackkklansman.
Yes, I
Good,
watched that the other day. So
good film, isn't
good.
it? It's a good
Yeah.
film. And if you don't know what it is, this film is literally about black excellence. I'm sure it's based on a true story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's basically about this black detective police officer, and he helps this white police officer infiltrate the KKK. But basically, I'm sure this black guy's basically telling him what to do. So it's actually like this black guy is actually infiltrating the KKK.
Hmm.
And it's just a brilliant story. And one of the shots at the end, where it's like, it's like the hallway at the end, that one
Oh,
shot. That's iconic,
yeah.
I think.
Hmm.
I can't remember who directed it, but my friend was like, that's an iconic thing, I think, from that director. Just a brilliant film. It's just great. It's just a really great film, I think, for black excellence, and
Hmm.
like highlighting the struggle, because it really is about like the KKK, this absolute awful organization in America that's
Yeah.
just been left to develop and fester and become something so ugly, and it's never really gone unchecked. My last one for Black Excellence was Get Out and Us
Oh
slash them too.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
Jordan Peele, come on, his films, so
Legend. He's
so
literally a
good.
legend.
The details in his films, the thing that I hear a lot is like, yeah, but why do we need black this? Why do we need black that? Well, why do we need white this, white that? Why can't we tell these stories led by black people?
Exactly.
Don't know. I think it's refreshing. I don't want to watch a story about a white person every day. Let's mix it up. Let's see some Mexican, Asian, black. Let's watch it all. I'm not here just to see these white stories. So
Exactly.
to follow this, like, I mean, Get Out is like literally a white nightmare, isn't it? Really, like this whole family that just like take these poor black people and just like, I don't know, like take them for themselves, and it's really weird.
It's
Anyway,
scary, yeah.
it's so scary. Such a good film. And then Us is another brilliant film um, that has so many twists and turns, especially at the end with the characters and the flip of who is who.
Mm.
Brilliant. Again, just Jordan Peele as an actor, amazing. Those films that he highlights, all these stories and artists, I think is brilliant. So that's my like try to jam, because I have like 13 films, I'm sure. So I
Mad,
tried to jam
yeah.
a couple together. So that's that for me.
Yeah, no, those are really good picks. I think the only one I haven't watched was Us, but that does look amazing. I need to watch that. But yeah, especially with like Blackkklansman, I love that film because mainly the aesthetics in it as well. Everything was so well shot, the color grading, the shots they
Oh,
used.
it's so good.
It was
I mean, the
amazing.
costumes as well. Oh,
Honestly, the nostalgia, I just love it. And also, like for Black Panther, like you said, it was a bit like overhyped, but I think the film itself was amazing. And one thing that people point out as well, it's one of the first films that shows Africa in a positive light, like in a
mm,
rich and developed way. And there are a lot of places in Africa which are rich and developed. It's not like the whole continent is the stereotype of poor and in need and underdeveloped. There are a lot of places that have like a developed society and life of their own going on. So it was really nice to get a representation in mainstream media of that in Africa. So yeah, those are amazing, amazing films. Okay, what have I got next on my list? I'm sure this might be on your list as well, but this is a recent film last year. We went to watch it together, actually, Parasite.
oh
So
yes, it is on my list. Yeah, so we could both
good.
talk about some.
Mm-hmm. What were your initial thoughts? Like, I still get like mind boggled thinking about it.
I mean, going into it, I didn't actually know like much about the film. I
Mm-hmm.
just knew that it was like meant to be amazing. So I was like, okay, I need to go see this. And obviously, we quite enjoy Korean culture as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just like something quite exciting to see in Western society that this film
Yeah.
is playing. Not many Korean or Asian films get into like Western cinemas. So when I first watched it, I really had no idea what was happening. Like, and then it's like it ends up being like two films in one, and you're just like, "Whoa, what is going on?" It's so interesting. Like, I need to watch it again to just because not that there's so much in it that you can't concentrate, but because there's so many things highlighted in it and so many things they discuss, and the characters are just one thing that you could discuss, let alone the other family they live with. It's just really interesting. And obviously, who's the director? But Bo,
On Oh,
oh,
I don't want to mess up his name. Let me Google it real quick.
no, neither do I. Isn't it? I think it's Bo something in it.
Uh, Bong
Bo,
Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho.
Bon Joon-ho. I
Yeah.
knew it was B.O. something. Bon Joon-ho. He wow, his films usually have like political messages about like society and Korea, I think I read. So, you can definitely see that in the film. You've got this really rich family and this like really poor family. It's just so interesting, like infiltrating this family. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what you thought going into it.
It was crazy because, like, when I asked people who have seen it to describe it as well, like, even if you ask me now to describe it, it's so hard to describe
Yeah,
because
I don't know where you even start.
literally there's so much going on and there's so much happening. Like, if you ask someone what the film's about, they could give you like 10 different answers. And it's one of
Mm.
those films as well that every time you go back and watch it, you notice something new. So I
Yeah,
think I've
yeah,
watched it a couple of times, and yeah, you always pick out things that, oh, this makes sense. Oh, that's why that's there. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's crazy. And I think one of the things that like got everyone excited was the narrative. So like you said, it's like two films in one.
Mm.
Like, I don't
They
think,
said like it's almost two scripts, isn't it? That's what we were saying. Me, Aisha, and our friend Zoe, we all went to go see it together. And Zoe was saying basically like it's almost two scripts. Like you get halfway through the film, and it's almost like they wrote a completely new script for another film. It still works, but
yeah.
it's like it flips completely what happens. So it's very interesting.
I think that's why people liked it so much and it's so popular, because I don't think anyone's ever approached a film or a narrative like that. Because
Yeah.
there's such a massive plot twist that it's so different. You're like, well, I need to know what happens next. And
Mm,
it's just so crazy because it's so different, like the different
mm,
tones. Like, it starts off as very domestic,
yeah.
yeah, about a family with a plan, trying to do something. And then suddenly,
It flips on its head, doesn't it?
yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but literally, I walked out zero brain cells. I was like, what just happened?
It happened. No,
Literally
no,
insane.
it's such a good film. And you know, it does talk a lot about class. It is a lot about class. Um, you know, there's this poor family literally doing whatever they can and living in an absolute pigsty, and you know, there's like floods and stuff, and they just live so badly. And then you've got this rich family who are like, they moan about so many things, and
Hmm.
you know, they just take their life for granted, and this family's just like, are you dumb? So it basically, it's just so interesting. I would 100%
Yeah.
recommend. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I need to watch a couple more of his films, but I just need to find out where to watch them.
Yeah.
Might have to definitely go, ha.
Ah, that's the thing. I think this film in particular is going to do a lot for foreign language films in the West, because
Mm.
yeah, like you said beforehand, we don't really have access to that. But because this one was so big and so amazing, hopefully in the future, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I hope so. But yeah, I want to watch more of his films as well because I heard he's really good. Mm.
Okay. My next film that I'm going to pick, I'm kind of going down the list, but um, I kind of picked one that there's kind of one and two together again, but I just picked one that was very impactful in the last. I'm not saying that it's the best film, but it's one that like kept me on the edge of my seat.
Mhm.
Infinity War slash Endgame.
Okay.
Endgame was a bit long, but like it's kind of almost one film really because it's like a continuation. So
Mhm.
those films, wow, oh my god, characters dying left, right, and center, and I can't be dealing with all this.
Insane. Insanity. It's really crazy
Oh my
film.
god, the the villain Thanos. Oh my god, what what a villain! What a villain!
Mhm.
Some people say their favorite character was Thanos just because of
Yeah.
how incredible the villain was, and I was just there's just so many elements and so many characters. I feel like they did so well
Mhm.
to highlight them and follow all the different stories without it becoming boring or too much. I mean, Endgame, the beginning could have probably been cut down half an hour because it was like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
But it was worth it just to see the end of that film
Mhm.
because when you get to the end of that film, it's like, wow, this is what we were waiting for. This is the end game, literally. Um, and it was just, and then obviously like that's the end of an era almost with Marvel now, isn't it? We've got, not to spoil it obviously, if you haven't watched it by now, then where have you been?
Then
But
that's on you. That's your problem.
that's on you. But obviously certain characters have died, so that means their story ends, so new characters are getting films, and
Mhm.
it's just really weird. Like it makes me realize how old I'm getting. I mean, I'm not old, but you know what I mean? It makes me realize how old I'm getting because these are characters I've seen through my childhood upwards, and now they're gone, and we're starting a new era in Marvel. And I'm like, wow, that is so strange.
Mm.
So that was something I felt I had to put on my list just because I was so excited to see the films, and it left you on such a cliffhanger in Infinity War that I don't think I couldn't have put it in the list as like something that was not impactful politically, but impactful on like the characters that I wanted to see. And yeah, and I saw, how many times did I watch Endgame? I think it was like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I cried every time.
I think I went to see it with you as well. I remember at the end you were just in tears. I was like, Lucy, you were just sat there like just in tears. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that was one I wanted to definitely put on my list. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I feel like those films as well, in particular, cultural reset. Everyone was talking about those films, like
Oh yeah.
all over Twitter. The memes that came from it,
Oh
like I
yeah.
was so pissed. Like everyone talking about clicking, and yeah, I was like, "What's all these memes? What does it all mean?" So then we finally went to go, and I just thought, because I confession, I've never really been into like Marvel, like
Yeah.
supernatural, superhuman stuff, but obviously everyone was talking about this, and when Black Panther came out, I started to see the hype and stuff. I really enjoyed that film. So when this came out, I was like, oh my God. And I haven't even watched all the other universe films or the
Yeah.
backstories of all the characters. But even from
Mm.
my perspective, I could still enjoy it because it was just so crazy and so rich in the story, and the characters had such a good
Yeah.
connection.
So impactful, wasn't it? Just people who wouldn't even normally go to see it were seeing it, and if people were fans of it, they were seeing it like 3, 4, 5 times. Like it made so, I'm sure it made so much money at box office.
Oh,
Like
imagine, yeah.
I think the first like couple of days were like completely booked out and everything. Like it was so impactful.
Mm.
And I remember I'm sure I went like one of the first couple of days it was out or whatever. And I remember sitting in the audiences and everyone was like, like in the film, everyone was like shook. Everyone was like interacting together. We were all out there feeling the same things at the same
Yeah,
time. It was mad. So yeah, it was so impactful. So impactful.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's so
crazy.
crazy, honestly. I wonder, I don't keep up with the Marvel like universe, so I wonder what they're
Yeah.
gonna do next and how they're like
Mhm.
gonna continue
I
on.
know
But
I know they're doing the origin story for Black Widow.
okay,
Um, and I don't know if they're going to do anything for Hulk. I think they're going to do stuff for the Ant-Man, I think. I think they're definitely doing another Guardians of the Galaxy. They're doing another Thor film, Love and Thunder, it's called.
cool.
I think they're doing another Black Panther movie as well.
Oh,
That's all I know,
sick.
I think.
Yeah, you'll have
That's
to
it.
educate me and all the history and stuff, and I need to go
Oh,
through and
even
watch
I'm
them
not
all.
even that up to date with it all. Like some
Really?
people are like, I know the order. It's Winter Soldier, then it's this, then it's this, and I'm because the order they come out in doesn't necessarily mean that's the order of the timeline.
Oh my God, that's
You know
so
what I
mad.
mean? So
Yeah,
Infinity War happens, but then after Infinity War, it could have been the Ant-Man or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I know that's not right, but do you know what I mean? It's just because of the way they come out, it doesn't necessarily mean that it follows the timeline. So like Black Widow's film's about to come out, and spoiler alert, she dies in Endgame, Infinity War. No, it's Endgame. She dies in Endgame. So you know it doesn't follow the timeline. So her story will come before Infinity War and Endgame. Oh, it's hard, man.
it sounds
And
like
then,
so much to.
yeah, it's so much work. And then obviously the first Captain America movie that's set like way before any of the films because that was set in like the war.
Mhm.
So it's too much for me.
It's too much. I remember we watched that together as well, didn't we? Captain America. You don't like her,
Yeah.
do you? I remember you were kissing her out.
Oh no, no, that's was it Captain America?
Oh no, who was it? I'm getting them mixed up.
What's her name? Amer-
I remember someone, one of the
no,
characters in
I know.
it.
That's because I don't like her, so I remember the name.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that? Marvel, Captain Marvel. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Captain Marvel. Oh yeah, but her story is before as well because hers is set. But yeah, I don't like her. I just felt they made her so like. I mean, like I know I understand like she doesn't remember her past and stuff, but she was so blank and it was so like it was like watching a piece of paper. Like I was like, oh, give me something, please, give me an emotion. Like
Yeah. Like,
I wanted
yes,
to work with
queen. Give us nothing.
Like, obviously, I understand it's like a really powerful woman, but I felt it fell a bit flat for me.
Yeah,
And it's not because she's a woman, because everyone's like, oh, a woman, It's not because of that. It's just, I think the way she was written, it wasn't for me.
yeah.
It wasn't for me. But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
so
Mm,
it's
yeah.
a long storyline there, the Marvel universe. It is long.
Mm. That's insane.
So,
That's definitely something I need to catch up on. But yeah, okay. Next film. Yeah. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I really love it. It's a bit cliche. A lot of people don't like it. It's The Greatest Showman. It's another musical.
seen it still, you know that, right?
No, oh my God, it's so
No.
good. I love it.
Oh, we're gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it with you, and then no one does, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Okay, we'll sort it
okay,
out. We'll do like a
okay.
Netflix party
I'll
or
have
something.
to watch it. All right,
But
sick.
okay, I'll try and do no spoilers then. But basically, it's based on a circus that happened ages ago. I think in like the 1600s, and oh, that's not true, but ages ago. Like, yeah, I'm terrible with dates and
Why
names.
are you lying? I'll find out the date for you.
Yeah, but it's about this guy, and he wants to build a circus, but obviously it's like no one believes in him, so he's trying to find people, and he it's a bit, I wouldn't say offensive, but it's about empowering people. So he's looking for freaks and weirdos like the bearded woman, like dwarves and stuff like that, and building a circus off them, and so people can come see them and their stories as well of like finding themselves and loving themselves. And obviously it had like subplots. So like Zendaya, she was a trapezist, I think is the name, and she falls in love with a white guy, Zac Efron, who is the main circus man's like partner, business partner. And yeah, it's just like loads of different storylines. It's a really pure film, and it's all about self-empowerment and self-love and stuff. And again, killer soundtrack. I'm sorry,
That's good.
smash,
I like some of
smash
the
after
songs on.
smash. Yeah, Rewrite the Stars, The Greatest Show. Like I bop some of those songs on a daily, like literally.
I think
So
it's
good.
set uh, um, in the 1800s,
Yeah.
uh, 1850.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds alright. But yeah,
Yeah, that's what I. Sorry, it's not really coming up very easy on Google. I don't know why.
I don't know.
But yeah,
It's yeah, it's about a lot of different things, and there was a lot of issues at that time as well, like with racism and like sexism and like people working and people didn't believe in him building the circus. But yeah, it's all about self empowerment. I think it's a great film for kids as well to see,
yeah,
even though you're different, that's special, that's good and empowering, and yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There's nothing like that specifically stood out about it. Just overall, it's a really good
it's just
overall
like
film. Yeah,
yeah,
feel
film.
good. Yeah.
It's a feel good film. Cool.
Mm.
I love a good feel good film.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it. It's one of the things I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it, and then I just never get around to it.
Mm. It's
And when
definitely
it's
worth
even
it.
that, like, I'm that person that's really like, I resist mainstream really bad. So
Yeah,
if everyone's like,
yeah.
oh my god, you've got to watch it, I'm like, nah,
Nah,
I don't want to watch it.
I'm
I'm like,
good.
nah,
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't feel like, and everyone's like, oh, no, but you need to, and I'm like, do I?
Mm.
Do I need to?
You're that
So
one guy.
I'm that one person. Um, okay, so I'm changing it up.
Okay.
My
What we got?
my next film is Searching, which is now on Netflix. So brilliant film. It's about this girl who goes missing, and the dad has to find out where she is, and like he tries to find out like what's happened. And it's all through like a Mac screen, the film, all of it.
Okay.
It was like searching on the computer, looking at stuff, and she was on like almost like chat roulette or Amigo, like she was on those things, or oh, it's so good. Oh my God. You're literally like on the edge of your seat the entire film. Like, what is going to happen? Like, he's trying to find his daughter, and then he thinks she might, I'm sure at one point he thinks she might have been killed, or finds out that she goes to this location, or she was seeing this person. Oh my God. And at the end, there's a plot twist, and it's like, oh my God. And there's a detective in it, but it's all through this screen. So, like, almost like, literally like looking at a computer screen the entire film. Oh,
Okay.
it's such a different setup. Like it's so refreshing to see something a bit different. That came out about maybe 2 years ago or something, a year
I
ago.
think I remember seeing the trailer for it, actually. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Not really famous actor in it. Don't remember his name, but he's been in quite a few things. Let me see if we can get his name up. Searching movie. It was really good. Yeah, it came out 2018, and
Yeah.
John Co.
Yeah, yeah,
John,
yeah.
no, not John Co. John
Cho.
Cho. No,
Yeah.
this dude. Yeah, he's
Oh,
the main
yeah.
character. There's not that many characters in it. Really interesting. If you want something a bit different, and it's almost like searching the web, thriller mystery, definitely check it out. It's really good.
Mm.
Very good. It's
That sounds
refreshing.
really interesting, especially when you said it's all set on a computer screen because we
Mm.
spend so much of our times looking at screens. So to watch a whole film through that perspective, that sounds really
Yeah,
good.
just
Yeah,
watch it. It's on
100%.
Netflix. It literally just came on like the other day, I think. So
Mad. Okay, I'll add it to my list for sure. Yeah, okay, so the next film on my list is it's a Rachel McAdams rom-com. You can't go wrong with a Rachel McAdams rom-com. It's called Begin Again. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
you know I'm terrible with names, so you tell me about it, and I'm gonna Google it.
Another feel-good film. It's really sweet, and it's basically about this guy, and his dad tells him that the men. I hope this is not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. His dad tells him that the
Oh,
men
is
of
it
his
called
family.
Flowing?
No, I don't think so.
Begin again,
Yeah, Begin
bruh.
Again.
Who's that?
Oh, mad. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, go
shoot. Okay. I got the names mixed up with my another film on the list. My
on.
bad. When I
What
tell
film
you,
we what?
when I tell you I have no brain cells, I really mean it.
Okay, what film we talking about?
I'm talking about Time. My bad. Okay.
Oh, I love that film. Such
Yeah. Honestly, I like Beginning Again as well. But yeah, this film is one of my favorite films because I think it's such a, it's
we
such a
get a rewind.
yeah, it's such a unique storyline, such a unique idea. That his dad tells him that the men in his family have the ability to travel back in time, and it's about how he uses that in his everyday life. In modern UK, he's searched for love. He wants a girlfriend. He's trying to pursue a career. All of
Mhm.
this, and he comes across dilemmas in like time traveling. So he has a kid, but then his sister gets into an accident. So he's like, "Can I go back? But if I go back, I won't have my kid. I won't have the same kid." So it's really interesting. And the main character,
Mm.
he's like this quirky guy, British guy. He's very relatable. He's very funny. And obviously, the love interest, the main woman is Rachel McAdams, and she's just amazing. I love her so much.
I
She's
love that. She's
amazing.
nice.
I
She
know.
seems like a nice person as well, don't she?
Honestly, yeah. I started watching that other film you recommended, Game Night, that she's in. That's
Oh, it's
really
funny.
funny.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a funny film. I love that film.
Yeah, it's so good. She's
Yeah. It's such
amazing.
a good film. It's such a good film. It's about like consequences, isn't it? Of
Yes,
like it's almost like things are meant to happen and you're not meant to mess with things. Like they happen for a reason.
exactly.
Um, yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Very sweet film. Definitely recommend it if you're just feeling nostalgic or you just want to chill, a nice, relaxed, feel good film.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely recommend.
100%. My next one, I'm switching it up.
Go on.
I don't know how far we've got with the numbers, by the way, because I've obviously mine's over. So, but my next one is John Wick. Oh my, the John Wick! Come on, they're just good. Like, come on, Keanu Reeves is
Oh, I
just
love Keanu Reeves.
film just that. It's not like the best film ever, but they're just such good films. Like who can't relate to like if someone killed your animal, like you're going for blood. Like, come on. Like they kill his dog. Like what the hell? They kill a puppy. What the hell's wrong
That's
with y'all?
horrible.
What the hell's wrong with y'all? He loses his wife, and then he gets a dog to like have something around, and they fucking kill his dog. Like shit's going down. Okay, it's
Listen,
just such a good film for action. Like I think he pretty much does all of his stunts as well, which is just incredible. And the last one that I think it was John Wick 3. There was a horse in it. and they did it through New York, I'm pretty sure, and he had to learn to like get on and like be off on the side of the horse while the horse is galloping. He had to learn all this. Just incredible in terms of like action films, like just amazing. And each story, it's not like it's got the most complex, gripping, gritty story, but it's got decent stories, and good characters, good actors in it. It's just a good film for action, because action films can be a bit pants, to be honest, but it just keeps you gripped because the action scenes in it and the fight scenes are like top tier, chef's kiss.
Wow.
So that's just one I had to sneak in there because obviously I loved Keanu Reeves as well. Like actual angel on this earth, Keanu Reeves.
Absolute king. Yeah.
He's an angel. He's had such a hard life, bless him. Like his actual life is so sad. Like I'm pretty sure his wife died or something. And like, listen, I'll send you a video in a bit of like why his life has been so sad, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, we must protect this man. He has such a sad story, honestly. He lost his like best friend as well, I think, to suicide, and it's so sad. You watch this video and you'll be like, oh my god,
Mad.
absolute angel.
That's crazy.
Anyway, John Wick, it's a must watch.
I need to watch that. I love a good action film. So my next one is a film called The Little Death, or I think it's got another name. Yeah, because I think it's on Netflix, but it's called A Funny Kind of Love. Yeah, and basically it's all about, it follows the story of loads of different couples and different stages of their relationship. And it's all about sex and their sexual relationships. And like, it's a comedy, and it talks about like fetishes and like, marriage counseling and like failing relationships and like meeting people for the first time. And it really like destigmatizes and like breaks stereotypes on like sex and sexual relationships and consent, and it's just hilarious. It's so funny. Like one couple are trying to have a baby but they're struggling, so it's how they like try and, you know, conceive and their schedule and fitting it around their work life and like talking to the family about it. And one couple are like exploring fetishes and like lines to cross and like role playing. It's so funny. And it's hilarious. There's this one scene as well, I'll share it with you, because it follows just one couple, so I'm not really spoiling loads, but it's this woman and she works for a company called Video Relay, and basically she translates phone calls to sign language for deaf people. And this guy calls, it's really interesting.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
He calls and he rings a sex line, and she's so uncomfortable because she has to translate what the woman is saying on the phone. It puts into perspective like sexual relationships and like romance in a way that you don't really think about it. And I think it's not good for kids, but like young people growing up to like see it from different perspectives, because I think it's something we don't usually think about.
Given like one thing in media, like we're given like one thing relationships are. It's nice to see like as well, like normalizing that people like fetishes. Some people struggle to conceive, like having these different things like that are actually normal, like actually in a film. Like not everything is as vanilla or as straightforward as everyone likes to believe. So it's nice that there's films out there that highlight things healthily as well.
That's the thing.
You know, more realistic as well. It's nice. I like that. I've not seen it. I'll have to watch it.
It's amazing. I think you'll like it. It's hilarious as well. It's so funny.
It's like sex education in a way. Like
it's
got that kind of vibe of like education and like struggles and stuff like that.
100%. I think not a lot of people know about it. It came out quite a while ago, probably early 2010s, 11s.
2014 it came out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Really good film.
Cool.
Yeah.
My next film, switching it up again. I was going to put more Jake Gyllenhaal films in here because I like his film Nightcrawler. That's a brilliant film. But I wanted to put in Prisoners. I think it's Prisoners or Prisoner. It is on Netflix at the minute. Oh my god, please watch it. Oh my god, so good. It's about this kid that goes missing, and it's about the dad who is played by what's his name? The guy who plays Wolverine, and he's in The Great Showman.
Oh, I know the guy. I know the guy.
What's his name? It's so like it's such an iconic name as well. Like, why can't I think of it?
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna get it up.
All right.
Oh my god, Hugh Jackman! Come
Of
on.
course. Yeah.
The Hugh Jackman's in it. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. Jake Gyllenhaal is the detective, and Hugh Jackman is playing the character of the father, who his kid's gone missing, and it's just like the length. It's about the lengths that parents will go to protect and find their children, and then it's this detective who's trying to make sense of this crazy situation. And the ending, if you don't like endings that are like it ends with an answer, but it also ends with a question. So if you don't like films like that, don't watch it. But I'm not usually someone who likes films like that, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I wanted to know what happened. But I guess it's up to you to decide what happens. I think it is anyway. I'll watch it. I'll rewatch it, and I'll be like, "Oh no, the end is fine." But I think that's how it ends. Or I think I remember how it ends, and just a great film, great actors again, great storyline, and yeah, that's all I can really say about that. But I really, really, really enjoyed it when I was watching it. Had to go on the list. I only watched it last year, but loved it. Loved it.
Definitely, I'm definitely going to check that out because I love a good family film, especially like you've got that parent and child connection, and obviously parents are so protective.
But like the actual lengths that he goes to in the film, you're watching, you'll be like, oh my god. But like, even I was talking to my mum about it, and she was like, she's always like, if someone had took you, or she was like, I would be this psycho to find you, right? So it's so interesting because obviously I can't speak from that experience as I'm not a parent, but like especially people that have kids or have maybe siblings or whatever that are younger than them, watching that film is quite interesting to see. Like, what do you think, you'd go that far?
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't with endings like that as well. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with it because it makes you think, and it's very like stimulating. But when obviously you don't know the answer, you're like, yeah, what happens? Yeah,
it's good.
But
it's really good.
I'll definitely check that out. Okay, next on my list.
How many have you got left?
2. So I've got this one and one more, but the last one is Moonlight because you reminded me of it at the start. So I just added it on.
Cool. All right, I have one. I have 2 left. We're good.
Nice. We're good.
I worked it out.
Okay, so this one is Spiderman Into the Spider-Verse.
Like, oh my god, why are you stealing my films? What's going on?
I'm sorry.
Take it back right now.
It's a lie.
Okay, we'll both have to talk about it then. Right, you go ahead.
Okay, like I said before, I wasn't really into like superhero stuff, Marvel, all of that. But obviously there's a massive hype around this as well. And obviously the main character is black. So I was like, yes, representation, let me go check it out. Great soundtrack, obviously.
Oh my god, yeah.
That Post Malone song, iconic. Everyone knows that song. It's such a vibe. In the dust. We love it. But yeah, it's just, again, so wholesome. The story, like his
it's just so good, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't even pinpoint a specific bit. Just the whole story and the companionship and the other Spider-Man. Like, I don't remember.
Also the struggle of the family, isn't it, as well? Like,
yeah,
I won't spoil it because it actually hasn't been out that long. It's been out like maybe a year or a year and a half, maybe, probably something like that.
Yeah,
but it's also about like how the family works, because there's like a hatred for Spider-Man, and there's like enemies that arise that you didn't expect, and it's about these relationships, and it's also about like discovering who you are, I think, as well. Like he starts to discover who he is and once he starts believing in himself that he can do the things, that's when it all kicks off as well. So it's such a good film, I think, for younger people as well, because it's about like discovering yourself, and it's a very empowering film, I think, for younger people, especially that like that universe, like Marvel. I think it's another great film. And animation, oh my god, so good.
Insane.
So good.
Oh.
They I think there's something special about the animation I read. Can't remember what it said, but something about the frame rate. It's almost like comic style. That's how
Yes.
they did frame rate or something. I'm sure that's how they did it. But again, just the way they animated it, oh, so good. So good. They're bringing out another one as well. I think it's 2022.
Okay.
Next one's coming out, so
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that.
That's sick. But yeah, honestly, it's such a good film. And again, great for young people to get that perspective, believing in yourself. Obviously, when you grow up, obviously not everyone's going to be Spider-Man, but you're changing, you're growing. It's about recognizing that in yourself and believing in yourself and learning about yourself. And yeah, another feel-good film. Yeah, really good.
I really enjoyed it, and obviously, again, talking about the animation, like they bring in different characters as well from like different universes for Spider-Man, and you see like such a range of artistry. And I remember I got to see the first 30 minutes of the film at Comic-Con. If you went in the room and you got a seat, you got to watch the first 30 minutes of the film. And the actor was there who played Miles, who did the voice for him. And they did a little like Q&A and stuff. Really interesting. So it feels more personal to me because I got a little bit of an insight to it as well. But yeah, they worked really hard on it, because even it wasn't even that far off like the film date, and they were like, you'll see at some points in the movie not all the scenes are finished. But anyway, yeah, so it was so cool because you got to actually see like how things are done before, like they have to draw like the person and then they have to animate. Really interesting. So
Man,
cool.
that's
So cool.
so cool. Amazing.
Soundtrack's peng as well, let's not lie.
Honestly, again, Bops. I think this list, if anything, it just shows how much taste we have. Like, not to toot our own horns, but the soundtracks for these films. Do you know what I mean? Mad.
Oh, Black Panther as well. That soundtrack was sick. Sorry to go
Yeah.
back, but Kendrick Lamar did a whole album for it. So
Insane. Ah. Okay. What we got next?
will I do my final one and then you do your final one?
Yes. Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, my final one on my list is Inception.
Oh yeah. Yes.
I think that film is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might not agree with me, but I just love the depths of the film, and some people have to watch it like 3 times until they understand like what's going on. And I got it the first time I watched it. I got it. I haven't watched it in ages, so don't quote me on anything I'm about to say. But just the depths to it, and like if you want a film where you've got to concentrate, but it's so interesting, that's definitely a film you've got to watch. But the ending, oh my god, it's one of them films that if you can't cope with an open ending, do not watch it, because oh my god, I was like, at the end, and I was like, oh my god, it's like this whole thing that he's been like, that he's wanted this so badly, but then it isn't what it seems that we find out at the end. Oh god, it messes me up, man.
It's one of those trippy films.
It's one of them films where it's like, if it's on, you can just like, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. Not like, it's not one of the films that you can't concentrate on, but it's just a good film. So, if it's available, it's always a good one to stick on if you want something to concentrate and have a little flavour.
Yeah.
Summertime.
But
I just really enjoy that film. I just think it's interesting for me, in terms of like writing stories and directing stories. I just think because there's so many elements and it's so complex, like that must have taken so much effort and time to film, shoot, write. So for me, I think it's something I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So Oh, I just thought of another film that was amazing. I'll
Mm.
say it, and I'll put it as, like Mojo TV, like on YouTube, and it's like top 10. It's like, here's some
Honorable
good can
mentions.
yeah, honorable mentions. I'll do that next. So
Love
yeah.
it. Love it, professionalism. The thing is, yeah, with Inception as well, I've only watched it once. I need to rewatch it, like from an
Mm.
older point of view, so I can like understand it more. Because the first
Really
time I
get it.
watched it, yeah, I didn't get it, and I wasn't interested. I was like, what's going on?" And I don't even think I finished it because I was so young. But yeah, I didn't appreciate
Watch now.
storylines. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back and rewatch it, especially like from a media student point of view, can understand all the ah understand all the storylines and the characters and stuff. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good one for sure. Okay, my last one is Moonlight, and I only watched this recently, like probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm still like, it takes me a while to like develop an opinion. I don't know if this is just
Mm.
me to like fully
Issue.
understand. Yeah, I watch a film and I'm like, I like it or I hate it, but I don't know why until I think about it for a while. So
Mm.
yeah, it was a really good film. It basically follows this young black boy through like 3 different stages in his life. So when he was a kid, when he was a teenager, and when he was an adult, and it's about him dealing with his sexuality, and it has issues of internalized homophobia and stories of his home life as well. His mom is a drug addict, and the different people he meets throughout his life. So he meets one character who becomes like a father figure, but yeah, all the characters kind of clash and overlap, and it becomes a lot for him. So it's just about his journey and in growing up and finding himself and accepting himself as well, going back to his roots and picking damage that happened to him when he was younger. So I think it's
Yeah.
really powerful, and it's important to a lot of communities. So it's important to the black community and the homophobia that goes on in that community, and also to the LGBTQ plus community and how to deal with it, how a gay person deals with it within themselves. So yeah, it's
Mm.
just so interesting because I think it's a perspective that we don't really see a lot of, and especially
Yeah.
throughout the 3 stages of his life. So when he's a kid, like knowing that he's different but not knowing how, and then
Mm.
trying to own it for adolescence, then in his adulthood, like yeah,
Yeah.
dealing with it then and accepting it. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
just really powerful. And the ending
Mm.
as well, it's kind of, it's not an open ending, but there's no like solid the end,
Yeah.
this happened and that was it. It's just kind of like,
Yeah.
that's his
This
life
is his
now.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really
It's
powerful.
one film that for ages I've been meaning to watch. Like, I know it's a good film. Like, everyone says it's a good film. It's one of them ones I was like, oh, if I catch it, I'll catch it. Like, I'll get it. I'll get to catch it one day. And then I never do, and it frustrates me.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought of two honourable mentions, and I
Okay.
won't go into much detail. But the first one for LGBTQ plus we saw together was Love, Simon. I just think
Yeah.
it's a good story for young people. It just follows somebody who, is gay, and he hasn't really come out, even though his surroundings would probably accept him and not be as bad. It's still absolutely terrifying for him to come out, and it's about finding love, and just a lovely story. um and my second one would be the latest Harley Quinn film, and I think it's like the birds. Is it like, I can't remember what it's called. Let me put it in. Harley Quinn. It's like it's got a really Birds of Prey, but
Yeah.
it's Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Um, I think it says and da 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 da. Like, it's a really long name.
Mhm.
But I just thought it was such a good woman film. Like, we are powerful. And people got mad. People got pressed over this film. Like, men were getting pressed over this film.
Oh God, yeah.
Um, because in Suicide Squad she looked really sexy, but in this film she just fucking wore whatever. She didn't care, and
Mm.
all these characters are all women, and they were all incredible and all had their own power. It was just great. It was just a good, like, funny film that was relatable. Her character's relatable. She's quirky, she's kooky, and you have to deal with this crazy bad guy. I think it's Black Mask, played by oh god, Ian. No. The guy who's in Train Spotting.
I know
Ian
the one.
McKellen? That's not Ian
Yeah.
McKellen. What the hell am I talking about? Ewan McGregor, that's it.
Yes, yeah.
Ewan McGregor, he's crazy in it. Just a good film. Thought it was for like powerful women films. That's a cool recent one that I can think of. So yeah, I know I've got a lot of Marvel and DC in there because that's DC. But that's actually one of the really good DC films because
Yeah.
there's not many. Not many recently that are that great.
Oh man, I have no
Let's not
idea.
go on Justice League. Oh my god, let's not go there.
Man.
CGI. Oh my god, you could do better CGI. Aisha, just
Oof,
mad,
oof. That's
mad.
crazy. But yeah, Birds of Prey. I heard that was really good. That's one I definitely need to watch. The one thing I will say is, again, the soundtrack is insane. There's
Oh
one
yeah.
song from it that I love. I think it's by Normani Diamonds. Such a good song
Oh,
with
it's
Megan Thee
good.
Stallion. So good.
Yeah, so good, so good.
Insane. But yeah, I guess that brings us to the end.
You got any honourable mentions?
Do you know what? This video is going to upload on Friday, and I'm going to think of 10 more for sure.
Yeah,
I know that I will, but no, not at the minute. I think I mentioned some of the key ones that really impacted me in the past decade, growing up and stuff as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
All right, so this brings us to our last 5 minutes where we do our little mention of a business, an idea, someone or an area that needs help. So Aisha's taking this one this week, so I'll let you go off.
yeah, for sure. One thing that we wanted to bring attention to that you might have seen like going around on social media is the humanitarian crisis in Yemen. Yeah, it's crazy what's happening over there. They think that after COVID-19, the country is going through so much that it might even be wiped off the maps because they're going through so much internal conflict and humanitarian
Famine.
issues, famine. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
insane. But yeah, they've been dealing with internal conflict in the country for a while, but it's gotten really bad since 2015. And then now with the added pressure of COVID-19, it's put
yeah,
more pressure on the country and the economy. Only half the health facilities in the country are functioning, and the majority of those don't have enough equipment like masks and gloves and oxygen to treat corona patients. Loads of people don't have enough food, there's not enough water, and the
yeah.
people there are really struggling. So yeah, we just wanted to talk about that and educate people that may not know about it. And yeah, because I think it first got big on social media a while ago, a few weeks ago, but it's kind of died down. So
Going
we
down
just
a
wanted
bit now, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, keep that conversation going, keep reminding people that it's still happening and reminding people there's ways that you can help. So obviously there's loads of different donation links. There's
Yeah.
a card link that has like loads of different places you can donate. So we'll put that in the description. But also if you can't give money, I'm sure you've seen with the Black Lives Matter movement as well, there's YouTube videos you can stream, and all the ads from there will go, the money
Yeah,
from
go
that will
straight
go.
to organisations that will
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
Yeah, directly. That's a great way to help. And also just awareness. So keep up to date with it, see what's happening in the developments, share it on your social media as well. So people that you know that might not know about it
Yeah.
can know about it. And obviously when the time comes for us to vote or we have an opportunity to speak about something, that's something we can
Yeah.
bring up to our leaders to help because obviously they have massive impact as well. So we'll put all the
Yeah.
links, we'll put all the links to that where you can learn about it, read about it, donate in the description. But yeah.
Cool. So make sure to check out the description, and also something that we haven't been doing, which we probably should, is direct you all to our social medias. So if you haven't come from our social media, then you'll probably need to know where our social media is. So we have Twitter and Instagram currently. So on Twitter, I think it's the same for both, but I'm going to double check. For Twitter, it's wakeup_podcast, and I'm pretty sure Instagram's the same. So let me just double check. Yeah, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
So for Instagram and Twitter, it's at wakeup_podcast. So we do little teasers, we do little photos. We're going to do some more interactive stuff on Twitter, ask you what you want to see, do some polls. And we always put a photo with links and stuff of where to go to the people we're trying to support in the episode, or anything important we mentioned, or any videos we mentioned and we want to share. So if you want to go to any of those, please check them out. They'll all be in the description as well. So yeah, make sure to go down to the description, because there'll be all the info you need for our socials and to help Yemen. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's been a good one.
It's been a long one again.
It's always long.
You know, when we started this podcast, we were like, oh, how long do we want our episodes to be? We were like 30 minutes max.
Yeah, they're always long. We just talk so much stuff, you know what I mean? We talk so much crap.
We do.
We do talk so much. It's probably my fault. I talk a lot. But yeah, basically, I'm glad that you've joined us again. And I'm going to get ready, because I'm going to come over and see you. Hey!
We're going to get food. We're going to eat out to help out. Make sure you're eating out.
Help out, guys. Don't worry.
The economy. Make sure you're eating out.
We're eating out.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm excited to come get some sushi. I'll have to leave soon because our table's booked. I need to get to you so we can get to the table.
So we gotta go, guys.
We gotta go. So thanks again, everyone.
Yes, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, make sure to check out the links in the description. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, we will see you.
Also, we have we're going to sort our podcast out so you can listen on Spotify and listen on SoundCloud very soon. So watch out on our social medias for that information.
Yes.
I will see you all in the next episode.